Hello everyone, welcome back to European Autocraft Studios. Today we're working on the 1987 911 wide body car that we showed you in the intro, the last video. These videos aren't going to be like every day, every week, as we try to get figured out how we're going to make it all work. But anyways, we're back for today. We've got a great video. If you notice, the scenery is a little different. We're behind the shop. We got a nice little area out here. The shop's full of other stuff for the Mercedes, and I thought I'd give us a little more room out here. A little bit of a thunderstorm passing by, but not too bad. We're not going to get wet. At least I don't think we're going to get wet. Anyways, so this one, the cam housings are leaking oil, just like the 928 cam housings, which is kind of crazy. You know, the big housing that the camshaft goes in bolts to the engine. It has an oil feed up to the camshaft, and that's where they tend to leak on the 928. Those have a gasket. This uses Loctite 574, or there's other equivalents out there, anaerobic sealers, but there's no gasket. Over time they can leak, or if these have been off before, they can leak. Another place they leak is the rocker arm shafts. I'm going to pull all those out anyways because I want to use the wet blasting machine on all these parts and make it look like new again. So we're going to be taking the cam housings apart as well. Maybe not this video, but we'll get a video for that as well. Now, as you can see, it's fresh out of the car. I didn't take anything off yet. You're going to see everything how we do it. We're going to start probably get rid of the ignition wires, and then we're slowly going to pull the tins off. I had to take this side off to get the exhaust out and some other things, but other than that, you're going to get to see everything. We're going to break it down to the cam chains, pull the cam chains off, but we're going to leave the cams in the housing and take them off. They're much easier to work on the bench to get the rocker arm shafts out. A little tricky in there, but not too bad. But that's the way we're going to do it. So let's get started. I'm going to take the start by getting the ignition wires out of the way. Hopefully I have all the tools I need. I think I do. If not, I'll be running back and forth and all that, so I don't want to have to do that. So let's get the ignition wires out of the way. And we're just going to start by taking all the brackets off here. And I'm going to use our little tins here, and I'm just going to put ignition wires. So any bolt I take off that's related to the ignition wires will just go in this box, and then I'll put it in one of these bins. Now that, let's see. I didn't rehearse this. I just got to remember from all the other ones that I've done. There's an Allen headed bolt in here. It's 6 millimeter. If I can target that. That way I'll get the, I'll take this bracket off. This is a support bracket for the air conditioning compressor. What we need to look at as well is if this engine needs cylinder head studs. They are notorious for rotting away and breaking, and then you get that popping sound on acceleration. Not good. Okay, well, we'll get that later. And this little bracket. Now there should be 2 little washers, yep, stepped washers underneath. You don't want to lose these because they're stepped so they make contact with the cam housing, not the plastic. There so we don't lose them. I'm going to do that a little separate. I pretty much know where every bolt goes on this engine, so I don't have to be super critical on organization with the hardware. But it's always a good idea. We'll just put that back on, and that'll be in a separate box for the chain covers. Okay. Take these brackets off. These are also for the ignition wires. Okay, so there's over here. Now we'll get the other side. Same idea. No washer on that. I'll have to take a look and see if there's supposed to be a washer there. And one more. 10. This does not have a step. This sits right on top of the plastic or fiberglass. So, and not a lot of force there. So that's okay. All right. Super long screwdriver. Just 90-degree twist. And we can take all of this off and get it right out of the way. Cap's in good shape. We'll clean that up. Rotor's in good shape too. They'll be fine. Good for another 30,000 miles. Probably. Okay. So let's see. Wiring harness. These are the speed and reference sensor wires. They're supposed to have a black sheath on them like these, but they all sort of crumble and fall apart, and you'll find it inside your engine compartment. And there's one of the labels. BG. So that's the speed sensor. DG is the, I'm sorry, that's a reference sensor. DG is the speed sensor. All right, what's next? So let's get the tins off. Then the engine bracket. I'm going to leave the distributor in for now. And then we'll go around, take the cam covers off, and see if we need head studs. Hopefully not. So let's see. Start with engine tins. We'll do another one of these. There. Well, that's interesting. You probably can't see this. It's just one of the bolts for the metal. This metal tin here is metal tin. It's metal covering shield. It was just real close to this bracket for some reason. I know this car may have been in an accident at one time. I found some metal. This one over here had a little ripple in it. So it's nothing serious, but changes the spacing inside here. Yep. Somebody did some spray painting. You can see black overspray, and you know, I like my hardware to show the nice yellow CAD plating, not spray painted black. So we will fix all that. Oh, we got one more. Still blind, so. Okay, that should get that one. You can see the cutouts for the, not this one, but this one. Cutout for the oil line. If you retrofit an SC and you want to put the 930 type tensioners, you have to cut a slot. This is a factory one, looks real nice. It's just a little bit of a pucker hole there. So that's how that works. Okay, engine bracket. And then we'll take the air conditioning bracket off. Yeah, that's going to come off. Let's see. This one first. That wasn't even tight. These are 10 millimeter studs on the engine up here. But the bolt head is 15 millimeter. Normally you would see a 17 millimeter. But they make the head smaller because it's a confined space. You can actually get a wrench in to remove it. Again, you probably can't see what I'm doing here, but if you want to come up here, can you see it through the hole? Can you see? I could take this bracket off, make it a little easier, but it's really not necessary. You get to watch me struggle with this. That's always fun. If you can hear the dogs in the background. All right, let's see. Magnets. Always have a magnet around. I remember one time on an SC taking the intake off to reseal the boots on the intake, and I was missing a washer. Not a big washer, it was a smaller washer from these studs. Couldn't find it anywhere. So I decided before I go get another one, I better look inside the cylinders. And sure enough, that washer was in the back on the last cylinder here, just sitting on top of the valve. Luckily the valve wasn't open. So that was, if you lose a washer, keep looking. You need to find it. Okay. All right. So I got that one. The rest should be easy. Those are 17 millimeter. Let's see if we can. All right, and this is where the air conditioning compressor bracket mounts. We're missing a bolt here, so we'll get that out of the way. There's my. That's the bolt that was back here, and we got one more somewhere. Oh yes. It's been a while since. Oh, yep, there it is. How could I forget? Easy, don't forget. Okay, there's one more here. And it's just, I don't know if you can see that. Right in there. That's the oil pressure. And this is oil temperature. We'll just lift this up out of the way. And there's my little 6 millimeter nut. Okay, there we go. There's the bracket. Lost washers. And then I can get this off. Okay, there we go. See, this has been spray painted too. We're gonna clean all this up. It's gonna look like brand new. Okay, what's next here? We're gonna have to remove the. Well, let's finish taking the pins off. That's what we'll do. So we got these. Put this up. See all the black sheathing from the speed and reference sensors. Just crumbles. Tins. Let's see, this one has an Allen. Let's take the bracket off. Now the speed and reference sensors, I know I'm jumping around a lot. Try to keep up if you can. ADD. When you put this back on, you're going to have to measure the gap between the ring gear in here with a brass feeler gauge, because this is adjustable and you want to get the gap correct. Pretty easy to do. All the instructions are right there in the service manual. That's not supposed to be a zip tie. There's supposed to be a clamp here. These aren't routed correctly, so they've probably been changed. This has the new style. While I'm on it, you see this is the cylinder head temp sensor, has 2 pins. The early ones only had 1, and they used the sensor ground through the engine, and the computer ground picked it up off the engine rather than having its own ground wire here. Major problems. You'd be accelerating, big puff of black smoke would open circuit and go to like it was minus 40 degrees and overrichen the engine. So this is a new style sensor. It has a 14 millimeter hex rather than a 13 millimeter. Just a little tidbits of information. They've probably all been changed by now, just because they all failed. I remember back in the day. Okay, we got 2 Allens. Oh, one's already loose. Look at that. These are just 5 millimeter. Wow, that could have been a part before. It's got a new, fairly new clutch, and it has what looks like a new rear main seal. Probably going to change it out of just good practices here. Okay, now this, I didn't bring everything but cutters. And there are 2 up here. I think so. Yeah, right over there. Okay. Just gotta come off. Let's see. I can take this off together. If I can get what I really should have done is taking the screw out, separate this, and pull the sensors out, and then I can pull them through. Not too late to do that, but I think number 1 Phillips. Yeah, that's a number 1 Phillips. I don't have it. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. There's 1 screw missing. So, yeah, it's not hard to find a screw if you have to. Simple. Normally there's 2 screws. This one only had 1. Those go. And these can just push out. See, the whole body of these crumble real easy. The other end, you may find on your car, if you unplug this, all this plastic will be inside the connector. So these need to be changed. They still work, but you don't trust them at that point. Okay, so throttle belt crank. Nylon bushings in here, they rot away. These actually are in pretty good shape, but I'm going to replace them anyways, and we're going to put the bronze so they never fail again. And this is our throttle linkage. Probably should have taken that off a while ago. We'll clean that up. Maybe even replate it. So, let's see. Let me try to get that out. There's a socket for this that has a slit in it, like an oxygen sensor socket. Sometimes, if it's not put in too tight, you can just grab it. I'm not going to be able to do that. So I'm just gonna take the grommet off here. Again, this should have been done before I took all the bolts out, but it's been a while since I've done a 911 engine like this one. Okay. Hey, we'll get the routing correctly with the Adel clamp here. Put all our stuff through the hole. But that's not going to go through the hole. So just take that out here. And I forgot to get the cutters for the zip tie. Be right back. All right. We'll get back to that later. And there is our cylinder head temperature sensor, cylinder number 3. There's only one, and it's on number 3. This is the wiring that goes down to the backup light switch on the transmission. Real mess there. We'll fix that. And this is originally, it's mounted up here, right here. I had to take it off to put this aftermarket engine stand on. It doesn't have the correct spacing, so I had to take all this stuff off to make it work. But anyways, this was originally here for the Porsche diagnostic system. I think it was made by Alan, where you could plug in your magnetic timing pickup here and reference that to the engine's position when checking ignition timing, which is also controlled electronically. It was never off, never a reason to, it's not adjustable anyways. So why they went through all that trouble, I don't know. But not once have we had a problem with ignition timing. Okay. I think that's that. I can pop that off. Let's go back this way. All right. Now we want to take the air shroud off and the alternator at the same time. That way we don't have to try to disconnect the alternator. There's a air guide that guides because of the rotation of the fan, the air all wants to go one way, so they actually have blades that guide it to cool the whole engine. Incredible engineering as far as I'm concerned. Just something simple like that is thought of, and kind of cool. I'm a good bias because I love Porsche. Okay, so I'm going to take the blower guide off. Blower guide. Duct. What else? We got one more. All right, now you get a peek inside on top of your engine there. You see how much stuff comes off, and the engine's really not that big once you get down to it. Let's see. There's also a ground wire you'll see once we get this up that we have to take off. Okay, this belt crank has to come off. That's going to be 13. Well, my 1/4 inch impact can't take that little nut off. And washers. Now, if you look, you see this imprint here. Everything leaves a footprint. That is a bracket that comes off the back of the intake manifold. So that has to come off to get the intake off. You didn't get to see me do that. Sorry about that. But that's the way it goes. Okay, got that. Oil thermostat. Can see. Oh, here's something interesting too. This is the oil thermostat. And this is where your oil pressure sensor for the light would be. And that's the wire for it. It goes right there. but somebody took it out. I can only imagine that they took it out because they do leak and you get puddles of oil. I mean, it just sprays oil everywhere. They probably didn't have one and they just plugged it. So we're going to be putting a sensor back in there. Switch. It's a light switch, really. What else we got? It's been so long. I think the cover can stay on. Oh, look at that, spare parts. There's the housing bolts. Okay. Let's go and take the rest of these off. And one nut here. I seem to remember having to take the cover off for the oil, the crankcase breather. I don't remember if I had to or not. Might have been on an SC. Okay, one more here. All right. So here's our more parts falling off. Here's our ground wire for the alternator ground. And I just don't want to take all this off and get all the wiring out. It's not necessary because we're not doing any work in there. I will give it a quick inspection. Make sure the insulation isn't coming off. Other than that, I think... you see how that's magically lifting up? Maybe I can make it lift up a little higher. Oh, look at that. A little help from the camera woman. Okay. So now, let's see, we have right here. Just gonna pop the strap. And then that will come up. And we'll take that and the whole harness together like that. And we'll take a look inside there, make sure everything's okay, but I'm sure it will be. I want to clean the shroud, and we'll get it nice and shiny clean. And right now that can just sit there nice and comfortable. Now, I don't know if you noticed, a lot of you already know, this is really for the people that don't know. The distributor here has nothing inside it except weights for the advance. No electrical connections, no nothing. All this does is send the coil signal to each tower for each spark plug, and that's it. And it just advances the secondary ignition while the computer does the rest. So there's just nothing in there. I'm going to leave it on still because there's one more hole I don't have to plug up if I just leave that in there. I will have to take it out to get the strap out because I have to sort of I have to bend this and get it down past here. So I'm going to leave that for now. So what do you say? Let's take a look at get the cam covers off, and we'll see what the head studs look like. As I'm looking, I see what look like steel washers. These should be aluminum sealing washers, but I think these are all steel washers. So if this was running, I would imagine we get some oil leakage off the studs. Again, more spray paint overspray. So let's get those apart. Let's see. What weapon should I use? Let me try this one. We'll start with the cylinder bank 1 through 3. Yeah, these are steel washers. That's a no-no. So we have all new gaskets coming. I'm hoping we don't need to do studs, head studs. It's actually a low mileage range. It's got 52,000, something like that. Not a lot of miles. So we're not considering a valve job or anything, unless I see something. But the exhaust, we took the exhaust off. It was nice and clean. Each cylinder looks like a nice clean burn. I guess I could have done a compression test, but after sitting this long, probably not enough oil in the cylinders to really get an accurate reading. I could put oil in there and then all that, but I think we're going to be okay. Yeah, these cam housings are going to come out nice and clean in the wet blasting machine. We recently had a dilemma where the evacuation blower died, so I had to wait a month to get a new one out of China. A little more expensive this time, but it was worth it. So that's up and running again. Come on. Well, let's take a look. You see it has the exhaust gaskets. You can see it has the split tubes. So what used to happen is these O-rings would shrink up. They were the red silicone O-rings, and they would just sort of flatten out. They wouldn't keep their tension anymore. And if the car sat for a long enough period of time, like a week or so, oil from the oil tank will slowly drains down and fills up the crankcase. When that happens, it fills up past the part where the oil drain is, and oil leaks out of here. So sometimes if you drive the car every day, you won't see it leak. But if it sits for a week, and let's say you go away for, like in Florida, snowbirds, they go away for like 3 to 4 months at a time. They come back and the floor is flooded with oil under the car. We've seen that happen before. So instead of taking the cam housings off to replace the tubes, you can put this temporary split tube in there, and there's seals inside of it. I'll take one apart when I get it out and show you. That's so since we're taking the cam housings off, we go back to the original tubes without the split, and the new O-rings, and usually you never have a problem again. So that's what we're going to do. We got new tubes coming for it and new seals. So let's see what we got for cylinder head studs. I've been kind of stalling because I don't want to know. All right. What I'm going to try to do is give the nuts a turn. If it breaks loose, I know we got a problem. But it's tight. There's 4 per head. And yeah, good. Just that little bit, it would snap if they were rotted. It doesn't take much, but that's good. Oh, good sign, good sign. If you do a PPI and you're going to buy one of these, if you can, pull the covers and check them, because you're talking big money to replace them. Big money to replace them. It's too much. Okay, so that's good. Good news. The studs are in good shape. Let's take a look at the other side, because there's still 12 more to go. Let's see. We're going to get a little oil spill. That's what the cardboard's for. That's okay. Let's try this side. Oh, or a lot. More than I thought, but okay. These engines are a lot like automatic transmissions. If it holds 10 quarts of oil, when you go to work on it, you're going to get 12 out. No matter what you do. Look at that, I got them all. Okay. Come on. Hopefully that won't go too much further. What a mess. Now you can stay there. That washer, I know where it is. Okay. I'll have to have the cleanup crew come in and take care of that mess, because I'm not going to do it. Yeah, you know I'm going to do it. All right. Same routine. The gaskets are in the way. Normally you don't have to scrape these, just get that through there. We don't want to damage any of the sealing surfaces. The old Deepwater Horizon here. All right, one more time. We got 4 per head, so we have a total of 12. I can see in there. Tight. This is good news. But if one of them is broken, we have to do them all. So, good. And Mr. Customer will not be happy. Okay. Well, there we go. We've got it down to the point that we could do our inspection on the cylinder head studs. The next video we'll go a little deeper. We're going to take the oil lines off. I'll get the distributor out of the way. I'll get the strap out. Take the chain covers off and take the chain boxes off. We'll look at the chain guides. They should be in good shape for the mileage, but we'll take a look. If we need to replace them, we'll replace them. They're cheap enough. And then we're going to remove the cam housings. The cylinder heads are going to stay on. Just the cam housing with the camshaft and rocker arms is going to come off. And at that time, we can remove the oil tubes. We're going to give the engine a really good cleaning and inspection. Yeah, and that's it. Gaskets should be here tomorrow, I think. And my 574 Loctite to do reseal the cam housings. But we'll show you all that, and then we have to do cam timing. I'm not going to do the parallel adjustment on the chains. We're going to pull the sprockets off. They're going to be the right amount of shims on each side. If I see some crazy unusual wear on the sprockets, then we're going to have to do the parallel check. But most likely, these haven't been touched, and they're probably just from the factory as perfect as can be. I don't want to disturb that. I also don't have the long straight edge I need for doing that measurement here. So that'll be another video sometime. We'll go through that. But the cam timing we can do, and valve adjustment. We'll do all that. And I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. Like and subscribe, please. We need all the viewership. We're going to build this really strong. We're looking at a piece of property here in Troy to see if we can set up shop in there. A couple of real good ideas, possibly having some people come by, do some learning, and maybe work in the shop for a day. That sounds like a great idea to me if we can make it all work. But right now, we're at our humble little home here, which also needs some renovation. We might do a video on that too. That'd be kind of fun. Other than that, please, we're not quite done with Patreon yet, but once we get that set up, I gotta figure out the tiers, what I want to do. You'll be able to see these videos on without commercials. Just watch them commercial free. It might be more fun. Commercials, not too much fun, but you know, revenue helps. We're gonna need a lot of that. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to look for the notifications, ring the bell, look for the little blue dot on your screen. Yeah, and subscribe. We'll see you next time. The next video is probably going to be only a couple of days, so you'll get to see these both back to back. But we'll try our best. Thanks a lot. See ya.